My name is Lilian. Today, the theme is animal rights as opposed to animal welfare to Tom Reagan. This book to Tom Reagan. Well, my detailed examination on the subject in the Cause of Animal Rights, published in 1983 by Tom Reagan, professor emeritus at the Faculty of Philosophy at the State University from North Carolina, United States. Philosophical work on the thesis that animal cause can be rightly defended. This article, translated by Professor Heron Gordilho, published in the Brazilian Journal of Animals' Rights, defend the total abolition of the institutionalized exploitation of animals. To diapositive. How can I do my diapositive? Where is two? Can I help me, please? What can I do for my diapositive? I don't know. What can I do? Please. Ah, diapositives. My diapositive. I don't know where it is. I don't know. What can I do, please? For second diapositive, I don't know.
O que é que você quer fazer? What would you like to do?
The third diapositive, I don't know where is.
Você vai mudar, você vai chegar lá na esquerda e baixar onde está vermelho ali e baixar o quadro para passar para o seguinte.
Mas eu já tô.
Clique no segundo.
Oh, yes. It's good?
À esquerda.
Good.
Okay.
It's good. You can see?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Well, after demonstrating that fundamental error or institutionalized animal exploitation lies in the system itself, that makes us see animals as resources that exist to be used, eaten, surgical manipulated, or explored for sport or money. After analysis of the vision of indirect duties and the contrast and utilitarian theories present the vision of rights. This work presents the vision of rights, which claims the recognition of animals as holders of moral rights. There was a very widespread caricature of those who defend merciful treatment of no-human animals. Tennis old ladies was the description. The derogatory expressions, animal lovers, sentimentalists, the caricature of the old tennis ladies, it is part of a characteristic defensive syndrome of those who participate in the no-woman animal exploitation market. The problems in this work are prepared and examined without passion rigorous, almost with clinical impartiality, because he considers our best defense against the accusation of being overly sentimental and emotional is to put aside all these research and demonstrate that the cause for animal rights can still be defended. Reading this book is very difficult. It requires a lot of patience and perseverance to work through all the arguments and counter arguments. Tom Regan argues that we must make our contestation objective and logical. Among all the objectives found in the work, we can highlight the total abolition of the use of animals in science, the total dissolution and of livestock farming, the total elimination of traps and sporting or commercial hunting. The fundamental role of exploitation institutionalized animals, can say, raising animals on industrial farms, they say is wrong. It violates animal rights. But traditional livestock farming is fine. Cosmetic toxicity tests on animals violate their rights. But important medical research on cancer, for example, does not. So,
Maltering.
slaughtering seal pups, it's horrible, but not the haunting of adult seals. But we understand that unjust institutions are not changed by adjusting them. What is wrong? Fundamentally wrong. In the way animals are treated is not in the details, which are different in each case. It is the entire system. Why war about their loneliness, pain, or death? Science animals exist for us to benefit us in one way or another. What causes harm to them does not matter, or only if it starts to bother us, making us feel a futile concern when we eat or will scale up, for example. He said, Tom, Tom Regan, eh, then yes, we are going to take the causes of their solitary confinements. We are going to give them more space, some companions, but let us eat our veal scallops. However, we know that a little stray, more space, and a little company will not eliminate, not even touch the basic error that is implicit in the vision and treatment of animals or as our resource. A calf that we kill to be eaten, eaten, after living in confinement is seen and treated in this way. But as in the same way, another is created, as they say, more humanly. To fix our breathing error, it takes much more than using more human methods. It is necessary to completely dissolve commercial livestock farming.
Livestock.
Livestock farming. Livestock, okay. How to do this? If we wanted to do it, or in the case of animals used in science, if we wanted to abolish these experiments, how should we do it? This is a very political issue. People must change their belief before changing their habitudes,
Habits.
habits. People must change their belief before changing
Beliefs, beliefs,
their,
beliefs.
before changing their habits.
Habits.
habits. And not people, especially those elected to public office, must believe in the change they most wanted before law protect animal rights are enacted. This change process is complicated, demanding exhausting, and needs the help of many hands in education. Everything, everything,
Advertising.
advertising,
Advertising.
organization, and political activities, eventually envelopes and stamps. This process goes through legislative means and therefore the result. We found some ethical theory, analysis of the reason proposed by Tom Regan, the view of indirect, indirect duties. What is morality? What is the best moral theory? How to proceed? Huh. He begins by asking
He
how
began
by asking how animals' moral status has been defined by intellectuals who then
deny,
that,
deny.
then deny that they have rights. Some people believe that we have no right to animals, that we
Or
owe
we
them not owe them nothing, and that we cannot do anything that offends them. On the contrary, we can do nothing wrong with them. In this way, we can do wrong things evolving animals. So we have duties to them, but none to them. Example: suppose your neighbor
neighbor,
neighbor
neighbor, kick, kick.
kick your dog. He did something wrong, but not your dog. The mistake that was made was against you. As we know, it's wrong to harm people. And your neighbor kicking your dog is hurting you. So are you are the victim, not your dog. Your neighbor is harm your property.
Property.
Property. Someone can say that your dog does not feel anything. He has conscience as the glass in your car. Someone rational would not to say that. A second possibility is that both the human and the animals would be hurt when kicked, but that only human pain would be important. But then again, no rational being could believe that pain is pain, wherever it is. Contractualist
Contractualist
view.
view. Contractualist view.
Contractualist view. Uh,
Contracto.
con- uh,
Contractual.
contractualist. It's my French accent. House, if it's a criticism of the defender of indirect rights or the theories. Number some, rational egoism, Kant's position, humanity as an end in itself. Defender of indirect rights must avoid two failures.
Failures.
One,
Okay.
failures. One, that animal feel nothing. Two, only women pen should be relevant. Between there's no failures, the view of contractualism that has been adopted. So, what is contractualism? I can say contractualism consists of a set of rules when individuals voluntarily agree to obey contract. Those who understand and accept the terms of the contract are directly covered.
Directly covered.
Directly covered. They have a rights created,
Created.
record, right?
They have rights created,
Recognized by,
recognized by.
recognized by, and protecting the contract. And these contractors can also provide protection to others who, despite not being able to understand morality and thus not being able to master the contract for themselves, are loved or appreciated by those who can understand the terms. Therefore, your young children, for example, are unable to sign contracts and do not have these rights, but they are protected by the contract in spite of everything in view of the feeling of other people, usually their parents. So we have that is that insolvent children, these children that's relating to them, but not duties to them, or duties. In this case, are indirect duties
Toward.
towards all the human beings, usually their parents, with regard to animals, size they cannot
Since since they
since
since
they since excuse me since they can't understand contract they cannot send them
I cannot sign them.
send that and size they
Since
since they cannot sing they have no right like children. However, some animals are objects of the sentimental interest of others. The
interesting.
utilitarian approach, theory of correctly kindness, theory of direct duties. Duty not to be cruel to animals. Correctly, in all its way, is a bad thing, but just as person being motivated,
Person being
being motivated by kindness does no guarantee that the or the she will do what is right. Neither does being cruel does no guarantee that he or she will stop doing what is wrong. What is wrong? An utilitarian accepts two moral principles. The first is that of equality. Everyone's interests are important, and similar interests must be considered important or have similar importance. Black or white, American or Iranian, human or animal, everyone paints and Christian are important. The second principle the utilitarian accepts is that of
Utility.
utility to in a balanced way between satisfaction and frustration to everyone who is affected by the result. If, as the theory of quickly,
Cruelty.
well, had
Goodness.
kindness supposed,
Kindness.
kindness supposed, or negative and direct duties against these moral passions occur only that we
Require.
are
Require.
required, or that we are not subjects of brutality, cruel to them, while the people who harm them, but who show sympathy or compassion for them would be excluded of any moral criticism. As a result of this comparison, the pleasure of the act is far greater than the
Greater,
harm
greater than. Greater than.
that is done to animals. Example ought to be. I can talk to ought to be, but I like it. So the vision of rights is not possible. No, it's
Not
not possible.
possible. It's
It's not
not possible.
possible
It's not
to.
possible.
It's not possible to examine the extreme diversity of human action in the institution that affects animals. Rodeo, running, horse racing, dog activity, and other public sports involving animals, zoo, aquariums, and the use of animals in circus or in the film industry will not be considered. Not because they are not important, but because the other are more common and now. When it comes to the case of animal rights, what we need to know is whether animals that in our culture are routinely eaten, hunted, and used in laboratories, for example, are like us in being subjects of a lifetime.
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 And we know that men literally billions and billions of these animals are subjects of a life in the explained sense and therefore have inherent value as we have. In this last chapter, certain implication of the theory of rights for the treatment we give to animals are explained, defend, defend. And so, in order to
To arrive.
arrive at the best theory of our duties towards each other, we must
Recognize.
recognize equal or inherent value, value and individuals reason, not feel, nor emotional reason that leads us to recognize, recognize
Recognize.
equal inherent value for these animals, and therefore they equal rights to be treated with
Treated. Treated
treat
with
people
respect.
with respect. Conclusion. According to the theory of right, the meat industry, as we know, it is unfair
Inferno.
because unfair because instead of
Sim.
treating farm animals with respect, they treat them as worthless, renewable resource and only in the service of human taste. The way of breeding that we know is wrong is not only when animals are raised in confinement in an industrial way, but also when they are raised humanly, because even in this case, they prematurely lose their lives due to the interests of humans. The author defends vegetarianism and opposes biomedical experimentation on animals, saying that they provide valuable threat. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry.
Parabéns. Parabéns. E vamos começar o nosso debate. Eu vou terminar a transmissão. Depois